This is Mesa Grand Duchess. Today is 6th of June 2013 at 5:16 p.m. This is Mesa Grand Duchess RASMASKONEN, also known as Ryan Tomlinson. Well, we have to address a few questions today. I got on my Twitter, tomlinkent@hotmail.com, and a Moferson at MPR, Sunni RKT, and MParty, and at PERAEDEN, about being a parody account. My account is no parody, my life is no parody. So those that copied copied and so forth and made another version, it's not a parody, it's real. I am in the process of recovering one of my Facebook account that was hijacked while hijacked at the Fort Meade signal unit, and my lawyer is working that out with Mark Zuckerberg. My email, my Facebook was hijacked and subsequently taken away from me. It's ryankent123@hotmail.com. Mr. Zuckerberg and lawyers are working that out. You see, they have copied my Facebook and some of my Twitter and made it a parody. It is not a parody. It belongs to me. Like my Google Plus account, it was deleted and so forth, and that will also be in negotiation. Today, what are we going to talk about? Some of the same things we talk about. We go through things in life, you know, we struggle, we fall victim to the structure that's supposed to protect us, and here we are trying to make a living. Things that are that our civil liberties guarantee us. Darling, it's no wonder that the NSA is under so much fire, as I have always said. Indiscreet things done to ordinary citizens to interrupt their freedom and liberty. Definitely, it's abominable. Why not seek asylum in China? What are we doing different? What kind of doom structure are we foretelling on the next generation of Americans to come? But darling, such is it, such has been foretold that it will be told. I have always thought that this year would be a telling year and a turning point. I mean, well, it has been so for the Democratic National, whatever it is that they want to do, party. But it's a telling time. It's a time of repair, a time of growth, or a time of utter disintegration. And let us see where it leads us to. I, darling, and I'm one of those victims. You know, I talked about what drones were and how they operate. That it's not only just a vehicle, but it's also a method of disabling people who you find or who you think are subversive to your cause. This is in the American intelligence world, and I'm sure it has extended to the Russian, to the British, and so forth. So there's a lot of things that are dealing with. That little young man is finding solace in China. Not a bad place. I would never go to Russia myself if I was trying to find asylum from the Americans. Because although there's counterintelligence, they work together, you know, to create that disaster in Afghanistan, in Middle East, and Pakistan. And those terrible people are suffering now because of all of that. What was my little quotation today? It says, my little quotation today says, weak in strength, strong in spirit, what dirt can defeat the dawn of the day? The derelicts of discernity, light are doom of night, their spirit weak in sharing. But the Morons make their case for subversity and distaste that all others. Maroons often dutifully bend and incorporate simple strength and simple peace to create a new world where all can sit and eat. Darling, I wrote this one today on that account. Being isolated here at Walter Reed, not even having the right social structure and social relationship, it does no bearing. You know what I mean? I spent some time in a hospital and a ward with people that I couldn't even stand and so forth and so forth. I saw one young lady today. I was like, we haven't seen you. We moved. I said, listen, I left so many calls. I don't go back to the dereliction of relationship, socially or otherwise. Once there are things that are set in course, you must realize the decency, the capacity of decency in your character, in your institution, and in the very essence of who you are. If you represent that in honesty, then there can be no doubt as to your position and to your influence in society and to your influence into your friends. How can somebody justify the suffering of simple people who are trying to make a living day by day, struggling against the economy, struggling against poverty, struggling against all of that? It's abominable. Why have we become so aggressive to each other as Americans and so forth? We're a threat to each other. They have a little screening to getting out of the army, a psychological tool to screen for illnesses and so forth. Probably they should have that tool screening getting into the military also, because damage, when they have damaged an individual, they claim these are pre-existing conditions and so forth. And so people become disenfranchised and disenfranchised from their family, society and so forth. And then you have other simple people working at the intelligence agency that leak information. Say, listen, the government is not perfect. Let's look out for the little man for a change. Is that what we are? Or we are some sort of giant, suffocate and strangle the abilities of people, to be ingenuity, to be enterprising, to bring that time back in America when we all had the essence and the spirit of success and survival. The essence of America that is missing now. And who are the morons of subversity and distaste? The same one in power. I have a little Panamanian person around here I'm working with there. The same devil. She has something on her door. The same devil, whatever. I have asked the EO officer for her not to speak to me. That's the same devil that tried to stop me from getting something to eat in the cafeteria when I had no credit card, no finances, and my identity was stolen by the same military. And she called herself a Christian, the same devil. And I looked at her today, I said, I quite frankly asked them, don't speak to me. But these are people in power, with discernment, power, and have distaste for the very people who need their help. So what kind of people do we have in power? What is their mentality? Oh, Jesus will do this for us. I'm sure Jesus will do a lot for us, and so will God, and so will Muhammad, and so will Buddha. But what we need to do is to find that intrinsic thing in ourselves that define our position and our structure. And that is not where we are today. We're on a selfish road. I am descendants of the Maroons of Jamaica. I learned a lot of their culture, and it's so awful. It's so ironic that I should say Maroons often bend to simple strength and incorporate others into their little society after being slaughtered by Columbus and his disease and so forth, and then come to suffer the onslaught of the British. But they survive as an independent spirit, an independent part of an island that are people that were not known to be warlike, but were known to be kind and decent and helpful and so forth. The African slave found solace in their and protection when they were assaulted or mistreated by the British. And so here we are again, looking for answers. What is the cure of our freedom? But darling, the biggest cure is letting go of the paranoia of the terrorism. We ourselves have become the system, the terrorists against each other. We live in a paranoid society in which they, at the Intel, they don't really know who is who and who is what. They're constantly on guard. And that breeds the insecurity in our society, not security, and so forth, the disdain. If our own sons of the soil have to let us down, the government down in such big ways, in order to exchange and to fight for the ideals of what they think are just and fair to ordinary people, then obviously you know that something is incorrect, and that's what I've been fighting for in this military. Strange, smile, daggers. And as I said already, you have a good day. This is me, the Grandduchess RASMASKONEN, and I'm going to read it again. It is weak in strength, strong in spirit. What dirt can defeat the dawn of day? Derelicts of discernment, lights are doomed of night. Their spirit is weak in sharing. The Maroons make the case for subversity and distaste, so they extricate, but the Maroons often dutifully bend and incorporate. Simple strength they use to break bread and mend. I said that incorrectly. I read something else. Maroons often dutifully bend. Oh my God, stop.